Ooh, welcome. First of our 10 here, and let's get to it. The crossbow is the latest novelty weapon. I'd say the dual Kodachis are slightly more, yeah, they're a bit more useful in certain situations. So the crossbow, now it's a old favorite, been in many Call of Duty games, and it always sort of presents this interesting dynamic. So with weapon tuning, we've got different options. With the weapon itself, we have different options. So we got two basic builds I'm going to show you, and let's just get right to it. We're talking the sniper build, so we have the 28 strand cable, so we get extra bullet velocity. We've got just some basic aiming stability. We've got the Momenti, so we're getting the bolt velocity. Bolt velocity is a big part of this. Any sort of sniper you can do with the crossbow just maintains the range for longer. So the drop off takes a little bit later. So it's easier to aim and hit long distance shots. I've just got a basic sight on. You can have any sight you like, but the Kazan Holo is actually pretty nice when it comes to mid to long range. I think you get yourself a good sort of balance there. And then we've got the Fatak Piercer. So we just got a basic aiming stability there. Not too much going on there. So let's go into the firing range. Just quickly have a couple shots and show you what this build is all about. So we get in position. This isn't a aiming down fast particular weapon. It's not incredibly slow or anything on this build, but it's basically just accuracy, bolt velocity. Bolt velocity sort of substitutes a little bit of accuracy because you can actually hit targets better. Because it goes faster, you're not as worrying about, any drop off. For particularly mid-range, short, mid-range, you're not going to get any drop off really at all. And then it's just here, I've just got to aim a tiny bit above it. See, with little dot there. And even then, just a little bit too high. So it's just a little bit above it. Again, you can aim lower. We have pretty good damage. This is just, so it's able to kill with one shot, depending on where it hits them, for the most part. So in quick play, any shot that hits below this marker here, I'd say probably about here, below the nipples, is not going to kill them. So you have to aim above the nipples, if you can. If you have time, of course. And this is just with basic arrows, which I think ultimately basic arrows are your way to go. But I can understand why you'd want to... Okay, so let's show you a different build. The quick crossbow. So let's go straight from here. So the quick crossbow, you don't have a sight. This is purely aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed. And we just go. Now you'll notice the reloading is the same. Now this will be fine at... Oh. Let me get a sprint on. Still got to hit your target. So your accuracy still is pretty average. But you just got a bit more... A little quicker with the aiming. So you can get the shots away quicker. Which, it's one of probably the things to argue about. Let's go back to firing range. And let's go to quick crossbow real quick. So for the quick crossbow, again, it's probably what you want to run around with is a mix between the two. But at the same time, I kind of want to focus on the specialization. So wait. Yes, I've gone too far. Let's go through it very, very slowly. Okay, so the tuning. We're at plus 6.0, so we're maxed out bolt velocity, aim idle stability. We're only at minus 0.10 inch. So just, keep the numbers here. We're going through the numbers. Aim walking speed, we've got aim idle stability, plus 4, just the maxed out. And then recoil stabilization, we're plus 0.36. Don't worry about the weight. But so this is just to get the exact most benefit without the detriment. So So we get the aim down sight speed on this one. So we're taking a bolt accuracy. Again, we're not too worried about it. We're trying to balance out some of the reductions. So the change in tuning in Season 2 is really sort of reduce the positives and negatives, or reduce the negatives a little bit. So you can argue that, you can look at the numbers. Again, not too worried about that. Bolt velocity, max, that's all really matters. And just, now this is sort of very particular. Aim down sight speeds minus 1.94, and then we're going for far on the sight positioning, just because it's a long range. But this is a medium scope that I'm just using, because putting a sniper scope on the crossbow, I think it's a bit silly. But at the same time, be brave, you can go for it, but I'm just not going to be that unrealistic at this point. You really have to get the perfect height. You need to measure it exactly, and you can't miss. So the problem with the sniper approach in, say, ground war, invasion, anything over 100 meters, probably anything over 125 meters, the sniper, as soon as you miss your shot, the sniper's going to look at you and shoot you in the head. So again, if you can catch them by surprise, always the best way to do everything in COD. Aim down sight speed -4, and then we're just maxing out aim idle stability 2.4. So nothing too crazy. Most of the stuff is at maximum, but there is a slight drop off if you do auto tune to that exact, just at the extremes. So again, we've got the 28 strand cable, the FFS shark fin, the SD Momenti. I've got the Kazan Holo. Again, this is totally optional, the scope. You can do whatever you like with the scope. And then again, just have a look at the settings. And then the Fatak Piercer. So this is the sniper crossbow setup, which does work. I mean, you do need to aim before you go around corners, is my recommendation, because you're not going to have not the fastest aim down sight speed. So let's go back to the quick crossbow. Let's go through this one by one. 16 strand cable, again, because I'll show you on the equipment. Because it's the bolt accuracy recoil control, so you have less velocity. So again, it's one of these things with the crossbows, if you're using an alternate bolt, which I'll talk about in a minute, it does sort of hurt. Now we've got very particular stats on this one to try and get the maximum sprint to fire speed. We've got -2.90, so this is again balancing the handling and the range and the accuracy and everything. This is pretty goddamn fine tuned. Aimed idle stability -0.06, and we've got the TV record grip. It's just some basic aim walk steadiness. We've got hip fire recoil plus 0.0. Again, if you're sprinting around, chances are you're gonna have to pull the trigger randomly every now and then. Hopefully you don't have to. Hopefully you just got the scope up. And then we've got aim down sight speed -0.22 inch. The Carbon Elite with movement speed, aim down sight speed. And we've got sprint to fire speed -2.5 inch, which isn't the max. It's for the left, but it is the peak, because it drops off when you go extreme. So it's one of those things you need to keep an eye on with the tuning. Aim down sight speed, we're at -0.18 pounds. And then we've got aim down sight speed. So we just got the sprint to fire speed. We're just getting all the benefits we can. Yes, we have the visible laser, but we'll just get over it. The -5.0 ounce sprint to fire speed. And we've got the -42.77 feet in zeroing distance on the aim down sight speed. So it's quite particular. Again, you can be a little more flexible if if you feel like you want to go a different direction. This is always a suggestion and a guide at the same time. All right, so we've got aim down sight speed -2.97 ounces, and the origin, weight, and then we got aim walk speed -1.32 inch. So this is just keeping everything somewhat all specialized for aim down sight speed as quick as you can, gets the shot off. Maybe you get them, because honestly, one of the things that it's really just the crossbow itself. The problems with the crossbow. Let's talk about that. So we've had a look at the weapon again. I'll just bring it back here. Now let's talk bolts. So one of the things you can do is just ditch your sight or laser if you feel like it, and just slap on a bolt. So we've got our 3 different bolts here. We have our tear gas, which is the first one you unlock, and it's not that good. It's tear gas. And the problem with the tear gas is, unlike the other two bolts, the tear gas only triggers if it hits a target. So you can't like have multiple people shoot these into a room and then fill the room with tear gas. It doesn't work that way. It only procs. Yes, procs when it hits a target. So and even then, it just sort of debilitates. It doesn't do any damage, extra damage. But sometimes it feels nice though when you hit them and it goes. So it does look a bit like a death effect with like the bundles have. Yes, we're not at that one yet. The next one you get is the Bright Blaze 20-inch bolts. It's the thermite tip. So the thermite has positives and negatives. So again, effective against riot shields, that's great, whatever. We have the reduced ammo reserve, reduced velocity, reduced accuracy, and again with the tear gas one we have reduced accuracy and velocity. So we lose, technically we do lose a little bit of damage, because if you have the higher velocity it's much easier to aim for above the chest, and it's only marginal, but you do fill these margins using the crossbow. But the thermite, it'll kill them. If you hit them, they'll die. Unless they can stim really fast, which no one's really act that intelligent or that that astute, and you wouldn't run a goddamn. You're gonna run a flash or a stun rather than a stim. So people running a stim just to counter the thermite on the crossbows, it's just totally ridiculous. There's no way that's gonna happen, but you will kill them. The problem is it's a delay. So thermite ticks, and you'll be dead before they're dead. So chances are you shoot them, they'll shoot you, then they'll die. The other alternatives, you catch them by surprise, you shoot them, you hide, then they die. So it's important to be able to have some cover if you're using the thermite. Now, one of the other benefits of the thermite is it always procs, so you can use it doorways to do additional damage. You can get kills with it just close enough to them that it burns them. So it doesn't have to hit exactly, but that said, it's not that strong, thermite. It's not like it's not like in Vanguard. And it's not like the other one they introduced in Vanguard. It just obliterates everything. So yeah, its range is limited. The fire damage itself, the range is limited. You're more likely to hurt yourself sometimes, when you don't quite get over the top of a cover and you shoot the cover and you just burn yourself for a bit. But again, kills them afterwards. So it's counter to what I think the right build is for the crossbow. The crossbow, you have to get one-shot kills. One-shot kills, I think, it's absolute imperative. So you're seduced. Everyone gets seduced by these, but it's one-shot kills. Now we have the explosive tip. Again, the explosion isn't immediate. It's great for kill streaks. Again, that's an obvious thing. But again, we lose ball velocity, ball accuracy, and the ammo reserve. Alright, how about this? How about we just chuck it on? Let's remove that. So we'll chuck on the explosive one. Oh, actually, let's just do them all. We'll start with explosive, and I'll just have a quick demo through them for you to have a look. So we've got. So that's the delay. So let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 seconds roughly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it. Let me just. Let's see if it kills it. Oh, that was lucky. So the training dummies are pretty lenient. So I wouldn't really count on it to kill an enemy if it's... See, this is why I like scopes. That's better. Alright, let's go back. So the blast one is nice. It'll hit enemies. It has the best range of all three of them. I mean, the tear gas has good range, but it doesn't do any damage, so it's kind of there. But it has good range in terms of the explosion, but it's just the delay is so long. If it instantly exploded as soon as it hit, I think it'd be sensational. But again, you don't want anything to be too OP, so I'll just show you the other ones too, just for posterity's sake. So the tear gas just looks nice because it procs instantly. Because it activates instantly, it makes you get this sort of ooh. And then we've got, again, if we're going to do any tuning on them, it's just bolt velocity really. That's really the goal there. And we've got the thermite. Oh, come on. Okay. So we got the thermite. So it just takes a little second to get the job done. So we shoot him in the leg, probably is a good spot. So this has been a little demonstration and a guide, and hopefully this helps. I do think that running the standard bolt is the way to go. Now again, we'll talk about scopes for a second. Thermal scopes and all that's useless. Any long range, anything past, I'd say anything past 5.0 magnification is wholly irrelevant. But I will chuck on let's chuck on the 15. Let's jump in. Again, it's a little bit too high. So again, we still have to aim, and then with the closer ones we're fine. Which you can run a big sniper scope. That's fine. But the problem is, of course, that the snipers can see a glint of your scope, and I kind of feel like you're in trouble. If you don't get that first shot, you're in trouble. And then if you go and you get a shot in the leg, boom, they're not dead. Or you get them set in the shoulder. So ridiculous. Give me something in the hand. He's got no hands. So yeah, let's go back. Any tuning for a sniper scope? Let's have a little look. No, we don't want to hurt there. So we're just losing accuracy. So, and then we want to go that way. Flinch resistance. So this is basically how I tune. Just looking at the... There we go. That's probably fine. Plus 1.14. And then let's do... I think we'll do far. Because if you're going to use a sniper scope, you might as well just go all in. Alright. Let's go back to the firing range real quick. And then have a little look at the far. Just a little bit... Yeah, I can do that often. Alright then, this has been a little lesson. Hopefully you learned something. And the crossbow is a tricky weapon to use. It's rewarding to get the kills though, so that's one of the big positives about it, that it does feel good to shoot people with it and kill them. And you'll see people running around with it. Again, thermite's delayed, that's a pain in the ass. Explosion's delayed, that's a pain in the ass. Tear gas is instant, but it doesn't actually do any damage. The bolts will seduce you, but I reckon go normal, aim for above the nipples. And I don't recommend trying to quick scope, but you just take the shot. You have to take the shot. That's rule number 1 of crossbows. If you're in a firefight, you take the shot. You don't just, I'm going to line it up perfectly. You're dead. You have to take the shot. You haven't got room for error. You haven't got room to go, oh, maybe not. You have to take the shot. And then maybe you'll hit it. Some of the hip fires can hit. The hip fire accuracy on this is abysmal. There's no point even going for the hip fire build. It's just so bad. And it's kind of understandable. You don't hip fire a freaking crossbow. Madness. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, this has been Frosty Fire 10. Let's just do that. Oh, not that one. Show me. There we go. Yeah, this has been Frosty Fire 10. And I'll catch you all. I'll catch you all next time. Good luck. You'll need it. See ya.